Design style nuclear bunker up for sale in auction, guided at 650,000 in Rutland. What are your thoughts on this one? This is what it would look like after the conversion, and I've always wanted to do a grand design project. What about you guys? However, I don't think this one is for me because I wouldn't necessarily want to live underground. It looks as though it could be amazing though. I think it's all of this land that you've got for sale. This, I think, would be the entrance. So there is some light and conservatory, and I think they've obviously tried to make sure enough lateral light gets into it, and it's going to be 2 floors. So currently it looks like this because it was a nuclear bunker commissioned in 1960, decommissioned in 1968, and actually also a reservoir. So I think there's a lot of room underground, but I presume you have to work around this structure, and I should imagine, therefore, the build costs are going to be vast. I don't know what the access is like. Maybe you have to dig in from the side to get it all done. You know, I don't know what needs to be done, and I should imagine you need a good architect, a good project manager, and a good QS who's the one who would price up this, and good contractors who know what they're doing with this type of building. However you've done, it's going to look pretty good inside. So this is, again, gives you a good view of what it would look like. You could walk over the top. You're going to have to mow your roof, but I think it's going to have full, lots of bedrooms, lots of living space, even maybe a pool by the looks of the floor plans. This is the upper ground where dining room, bedroom, most of the living space is, and there's a conservatory here. And this is the lower of the 2 floors where the living space is, bedrooms are. It looks as though there's a pool. There's also this kind of big lounge area. It says pool room as well, so I'm not quite sure where the pool is. I would say this is from a lovely part of the world because I grew up in this area, so I know Rutland Water and this area, and my family still live around there. In fact, I'm going there for Easter. So what's your thoughts on this one? Would you take this whole property on as a big grand design project? I've always wanted to do one. Have you? Let me know your comments on your thoughts as to would you want to live in this type of thing. Some people might say this is a Teletubby house, but let me know how much you think it would be cost, and who knows what it's going to be worth at the end. I think it's going to be a uniquely a property in terms of price, so therefore you need to see what it's going to be like, or the spec that it's all going to be done at, but I should imagine it's going to be in the millions, so therefore it could be actually worth it if you have the money to do it. So don't forget to give me a follow for more interesting property stories, and I will look to see if I can follow this up once it's sold in auction.